Okay, we go to this. Now, question കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? Okay, today we'll try like this. So based on this stanza, there are a few questions are there. Name the poem and the poet. We already know it is a photograph written by Shirley Townsend. What does the cardboard show? What occasion does it portray? The cardboard shows the picture of three girls, the poet's mother, two of her girl cousins. Each of them is holding one of hands of the poet's mother. The poet's mother is in the middle. It portrays the occasion when they went for swim on the beach. So occasion is sea holiday. Went for swimming in the beach. Now the third question, who was the big girl? What do you learn about her? The big girl was the poet's mother. She was about 12 years old. Only that much we know about her. All the three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, was the terribly transient feat. See the question. Who are the three? Why did they stand still and smile? Answer is there. The three were poet's mother and her female cousins, Betty and Dolly. They stood still and smiled as the uncle was taking a snap. Second question. How did the mother's face look? What time does it refer to? Her face looked sweet. It refers to the time before he was born. Why has the poet referred to the sea? The sea has been referred as two reasons. Two reasons. First, the girl cousin have gone to the beach for a holiday, some in sea water. Secondly, the changelessness of the sea water is compared to the changing beauty of human face. So two things are there. One is the three cousins have gone for swimming in the sea water. Secondly, the poet wants us to show the changelessness of the sea water, changelessness of the aspect of nature when you compare with the human race. What do you understand by terribly transient? Their feet were staying in water for a very short time. Their leg was staying in the water for a short time means the life of the human beings on the earth is very short. That is the internal meaning. Some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter, but the ride with the labor is a loss. See the questions. Who is she? When would she laugh and why? She is the poet's mother. Here, it is a poet's mother. She would laugh some 20 or 30 years later when she looked at the snapshot of the sea holiday. And why she is laughing? Just looking at the dress, looking at their appearance, etc. Which event does she refer to? It refers to sea holiday when they were dressed in strange cloth. Sea holiday. Explain both bride with the labored is a loss. So here, what does she compare to? The poet compares her laughter to the sea holiday in the past. For the poet, her laughter is the past and as she is dead, that means the mother is dead. For the mother, sea holiday is the past, and for the poet, the laughter of the mother is the past. Explain, both rhyme with the labored is of loss. Both are amusing yet disappointing and linked with the loss which are unnatural state of feeling relaxed. So both, that is both the holidays, they are amusing. ഒരു സൈഡിൽ നോക്കിയാൽ അതിൽ സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്, because it reminds them of the sea holiday and also mother. But yet it is disappointing. Both feeling is there. Disappointing also is there, because the sea holiday, the smile of the mother, it is linked with the loss. എന്താണ് loss? അമ്മയുടെ loss, which has an unnatural state of feeling relaxed. It is quite unnatural. If you have to just feel relaxed of this feeling, you have to struggle unnaturally. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of this circumstance there is nothing to say at all. It's silence, silences. This is the last stanza. How long do you think she has been dead? She has been dead nearly 12 years or so. That is as long as the girl in the picture lived. We already explained. What does this circumstances refers to? What does he say about it? This circumstance refers to her death, that is mother's death. It is a solemn and sad occasion of the past. So death of the mother is a solemn, and also a solemn is strange, and a sad occasion. Words fail the poet so that there is nothing to say all about it. Poet is not able to express anything about the death of the father because she doesn't have the words in her stock to express the sorrow. Death delivers a stunning blow to the living being and silences him forever. The silence of death silences everyone. So we already explained. Death is actually giving a stunning blow, a strange blow to the human beings, and that blow is silencing him. That means the silence of the death silences one. Important part. You see the poetic devices. You can note it down right now, or you can note it again going through the video. These are the poetic devices used in this poem. It is important. Alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the appearance of the same consonant sound in the nearby words. Alliteration here, in the first example which is given here, stood still to smile. Here 3 words are there starting with the consonant sound S. So this is alliteration. It is not repetition. Repetition means the same word is repeated. Smile, smile and smile, for example. Here it is alliteration. I suppose you understand what is alliteration. The second word you see here, labored loss. L and L is repeated. Terribly transient. TT repeated. Silent, silences. This is also alliteration. So there are 4 alliteration used in this poem. Again I will repeat, what is an alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of the same consonant sound in the nearby words. We have got 4 examples of alliteration used in this poetry. I hope it is clear. Coming to the next one, oxymoron. Here, labored is of loss. Oxymoron. Those who want can write down, okay? ആരെങ്കിലും എഴുതുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എഴുതിയെടുത്തോളുക. Because we will be coming across this kind of poetic devices again and again. First one we said alliteration. Alliteration is the appearance of the consonant sound in the nearby words. Vowel ആണെങ്കിൽ പറ്റില്ല, consonant sound ആയിരിക്കണം. We have 4 examples here. Stood still to smile, labored loss, terribly transient, silent, silences. Now second poetic device. Poetic device അല്ലെങ്കിൽ poetic ornament എന്ന് പറയും. Decoration ആണ്. In order to make the poetry a beautiful one, poet is using certain kind of devices അല്ലെങ്കിൽ decoration അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ornament. അതിലൊന്നാണ് alliteration. Second one is oxymoron. Example, labored is of loss. Now I will tell you what is oxymoron. Oxymoron is a figure of speech. Figure of speech means poetic device in which apparently contradictory terms appear in conjunction. Contradictory terms. എന്താണ് contradictory terms? Ease and loss. Ease എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫ്രീ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു അവസ്ഥ. ലോസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നഷ്ടമാണ്. ഇതിൻ്റെ രണ്ടിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ആണ്. When two contradictory terms appear in conjunction, comes nearby, it is known as oxymoron. I'll repeat again. A figure of speech in which apparently contradictory terms appear in conjunction. 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 എക്സാമിനേഷനൊക്കെ ചോദിക്കാൻ സാധ്യതയുള്ളതാണ്. എന്തൊക്കെ പോയറ്റ്, വാട്ട് ആർ ദ പോയറ്റിക് ഡിവൈസസ് യൂസ്ഡ് ഇൻ ദ പോയം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എക്സാമ്പിൾ തന്നിട്ട് ഇതിൽ ഏത് ഡിവൈസാണ് ഈ താഴെ പറഞ്ഞ ലൈനിൽ ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഓർക്കുക, ഓക്സിമോറൻ ആൻഡ് അലിറ്ററേഷൻ. നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ ഈസ് അലൂഷൻ. Allusion here, cardboard frame. Example ആണ് allusion. I'll tell you what is an allusion. An expression designed to call something to mind without mentioning it explicitly. An indirect or passing reference. We can say it is an indirect or passing reference. കാർഡ്ബോർഡ് ഫ്രെയിം എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് വരുന്നത് ഈ അമ്മയുടെ ഫോട്ടോയാണ്. That means an expression designed to call something to mind without mentioning it explicitly, means clearly. I'll repeat, an expression designed to call something to mind without mentioning it explicitly, comma, an indirect or passing reference. An indirect or passing reference. Next one is transferred epithet. Example is here, terribly transient feat. Terribly transient feat. First I will tell you what is a transferred epithet. When an adjective used to describe one thing is transferred to another. Here the adjective is terribly transient, terribly transient. We can take it transient, passing away, not permanent. Feat. The feat is not permanent. So this transient has been transferred to something else. Transferring the quality of something to something else. So you see, transferred epithet is a device when an adjective used to describe one thing is transferred to another. Transient. We use it for something else, but it has been used to feat. Here feat is not transient, but what is transient? Human beings are transient. So remember, 4 poetic devices are used here: alliteration, oxymoron, allusion, and transferred epithet. You will know more about transferred epithet in the next slide. ഇവിടെ കാണുക, ഇതൊന്ന് വായിച്ചു നോക്കുക. transferred epithet. An epithet is an adjective or a phrase containing an adjective or adverb which modifies or describes a noun. For instance, dreamless sleep. Sleep അല്ല dreamless. ഉറങ്ങുന്ന വ്യക്തിക്കാണ് ഡ്രീം ഇല്ലാത്തത്. അപ്പം കിടക്കുന്ന വ്യക്തിക്ക് ഡിസ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്ത ആ ഡ്രീംലെസ്, സ്വപ്നം കാണാത്ത അവസ്ഥ സ്ലീപ്പിനോട് കൂട്ടിച്ചേർത്തിരിക്കുന്നു. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ ട്രാൻസ്ഫേർഡ് എപ്പിത്തറ്റ്. ഡ്രീംലെസ് ഈസ് ആൻ എപ്പിത്തറ്റ്. So the same thing. One more example here. Controlled chaos. The chaos alla control ചെയ്യുന്ന chaos confusion ആണ്. So controlled by somebody. So this controlled adjective has been passed to, the quality has been passed to chaos. Parting in such sweet sorrow. Parting. Sorrow parting alla. പക്ഷേ ഈ parting has been transferred to sorrow. You see, in a transferred epithet, the adjective or an adverb is transferred from the noun. It logically belongs to another one which fits it grammatically but not logically. So in dreamless night, dreamless is a transferred epithet. The exact meaning of the sentence is night when I or whoever slept without dreaming, since a night can't actually dream anyway. So when you say dreamless night എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നൈറ്റിന് കിടക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല, ഉറങ്ങാൻ പറ്റില്ല. പക്ഷെ ആരാണ് ഉറങ്ങാത്തത്? ഒരു വ്യക്തിയാണ്. So the quality of a person has been transferred to night. We use the transferred epithets all the time. Another example could be, I had a terrible day. The day cannot be terrible. Is a transferred epithet because it wasn't the day that was terrible, only the thing that happened to me on that day was terrible. A more poetic example would be a long and weary road. The road cannot be weary. Long can only apply logically to the road, but weary cannot be. So therefore weary is a transferred epithet. We can say the way is long, but you cannot say the way cannot get tired. Who is getting tired? The traveler is getting tired. So that is why it is transferred epithet. Again we go back to the previous slide. You see the poetic devices, alliteration, oxymoron, allusion, transferred epithet. We have given an explanation of the transferred epithet. All those who want to know more about transferred epithet, kindly go through this slide because it will be useful for you for your study. The night is not sleepless. Just see. Terrible. Day is not terrible. And again, weary. Way is not a weary. And what is weary is actually